Hello and welcome friend. In this tutorial we will try to look at what is a shell script, different part of a shell script and how to debug a shell script. Apart from that we will look at some of the other syntax with respect to shell script. So before I go ahead with my more generic form and different components, I wanted to show you one very basic shell script. So what is the shell script first? Shell scripts are interpreted language in the sense it's not compiled like C or maybe other programming language like Fortran or Java. It's an interpreted language. There's no binary output. So when you write the shell script, the script is taken as it is in the shell and it's interpreted on the fly. So debugging is easier in the sense you don't need to go through the process of compilation, but it will be slightly slower as compared to your programming language like C, wherein you have an executable getting created when you compile a program. The first line, it says bin bash. It tells me exactly which shell I need to execute, and bin is the path where bash lies. Instead of bin bash, I could have given bin ksh. It would have executed in k shell, or maybe I could have given csh, and make sure that the path is right. If your csh is in slash user, then you have to give slash user bin csh, not bin sh. So wherever your shell lies. And how do you know where your shell lies? You could just say which shell and it would tell you the shell. So if you can say which and say bash, so it will tell you where your bash lies. So this will be interpreted and set up as your shell variable. When you say okay bin bash, then you are telling to the system use your shell as a bash. So this entire program will execute in the context of bash shell rather than some other shell. Then this is a command ls-l, and then this is echo. This is all you need, or maybe you don't need anything. You can just have a blank. So this is the simplest shell script you can have. Just one line echo something. You could just comment out with the hash. Hash is used for comment, and this becomes a very small shell script. Now we will look at different parts of shell script. So of course in shell script you have different features, conditional statements, for loops, while loops, if conditions, text expressions, comparisons. So we will look into details. So first thing is same thing, bin bash. It will tell you shell. Now if you give a hash, it will tell you this is a comment and this line will not execute, so no execution. So same thing, if it's a hash or starting with multiple hash, it doesn't matter. Wherever the hash starts, after that everything becomes a comment. The way you write a function is you give a name of a function and then opening and closing bracket, and then you starting and closing brace. You don't give a return type for a function, and you don't give an input parameter to a function, and inside the function you can do anything. Also to remember, in shell script the variables are all falling in a global scope, everything. So even if you write something inside this function, some variable you declare, some variable num equals to 23, suppose equals to 35 or 34, this will be global variable, so you can access it from here also as well. Then if you want to know the name of a script, by default $0 will be the name of the script name. So script name is whatever you take it as a script, like you could say script name 1, or it's not necessary to say script name. And the first command line argument which you provide will be taken as $1. The next command line argument would be taken as $2, and so on and so forth. When you call a function, you just tell the function name and it will call the function. If you want to provide some parameter to a function name, you can give the param1, param2, like this. To whatever way you want to give. So this is a way you can give a parameter, and then inside the function you will have $1, $2 as the function name. So now I'm echoing the name of the script. So this particular script, whichever the name I have given is generic shell script.sh1, it will tell you this name. Now I can output the same thing $script, but there is a brace here. So what is the use of this brace? So when you use dollar, what it will do is it will take the name of a variable and interpret it. It says okay, interpret this variable, and it will substitute the value of the variable. So it will does the variable. Now let's suppose if you are saying like this, you don't give a brace in this case. How does this dollar knows that this is a variable or a script name up to name is a variable? It has no way to know whether this entire word is a variable. So if you want to put some characters immediately after dollar, after the your variable name, then you have to enclose your variable name with a brace. Then dollar knows that starting brace and ending brace is the name of your variable. Here there is no characters after the end of the variable name. It's just a double quote which echoes no, so you don't need to give brace, but otherwise you have to give brace. And then here the first argument, command line argument, which I have taken as $1, this comes from the system, and this is my variable name. I could name it as any variable, so this will come as command line argument variable 1, and I could have made this as variable 2, another variable 2. Now I declare one local variable num equals to 23, and I compare. This is if statement. Don't worry about the if statement and how it works. We will cover this in the if section, or you can directly go to the if section and read about if statement in shell script. So it compares if dollar number, the value of this number equals to 22, then it will print echo this is a match. And if it works fine, then we exit the script with exit value 0, and exit value 0 means success. Usually that's the nomenclature, that's the way you should do that. Everyone follows the same rule, and anything apart from 0 is error or some kind of erroneous conditions. So this is the generic script which you write. So let's quickly run this script. If I run this shell script, you see here first argument is nothing and second argument is also nothing, and 23 matches. The number we were doing the match for num equals to 23, that says a match, and it tells you the name of the script. And here you see that it tells you the name of the script up to sh, and then immediately after my variable name, after my script name, I used brace use. Had I not given the brace here, this brace, this entire thing would have been treated as the variable name, and then this variable doesn't exist, it would have given me an error. So that's why you use brace. Now first argument is nothing, second. Let's try to give the argument. I say arg1 is my first argument, arg2 is my first argument, second argument. So now this time see, for earlier it was there was blank, now this time it says arg1 is my first argument, arg2 is my second argument. Good. Let's suppose I want to debug this shell script. So there's an option called -x, and if you run the shell script in -x bin bash x, it will debug. So what I mean by that is if you run it, you see it will tell you each operation the shell script is trying to do. Even when it was trying to do a numeric comparison for 23 equals to 23, it will show you what exactly it was doing. And sometimes it might be very useful in taking out, oh, what might be the error. Something like you might be comparing 35 with 23 or some kind of things, and you were expecting some different result, so you might very well see using this. So -x option is very helpful in debugging. Now there is another options. Let's suppose I have an error in my shell script. Suppose I don't give this, and now this is a syntax error. So this is a syntax error in shell script. If I run this shell script, what will happen is it will try to run, because shell script are interpreted language, so it will try execution, and whenever it sees a error, it will just says okay error, and it might do something bad. So if you want to verify that your script is not having error, you can put an option -n, and what -n will do is it will tell you okay your script has a syntax error, it will run it. So you might do a dry run, so before you can put it here, or you might say just like this, you can execute your script using bash command also without saying anything. Like earlier we were just running the script name, so that is one way of running the script. The other way you can run is you can say bash, it will tell -n, which means check what is the error. So it will tell you you have a syntax error. So -n is like a dry run, so that will also be helpful. So you can use -n or -x. -n for dry run, -x for making and debugging and running a script. It will tell you all the options, all the commands, all the conditional statements it is executing. So that's all for this video, and I would like to see you in the next video. I hope you like this video. Thanks.